it's me again. Fox News fans always update the latest news. Please following me to update our news today.
GOP lawmakers introduce bill to strip teachers' union of congressional charter. Banks told Fox News Digital he was happy to partner with his RSC colleague on the legislation. Two Republican lawmakers are introducing a bill to strip the National Education Association, NEA, of its congressional charter. Representative Scott Fitzgerald, R-WIS, was joined by Republican Study Committee, RSC Chairman Jim Banks of Indiana in spearheading the National Educational Association Charter Repeal Act. The NEA, one of the largest teachers' unions in America, is the only congressionally chartered union. Fitzgerald told Fox News Digital that the National Education Association has strayed far from its original mission. Rather than supporting students, the NEA consistently put the interests of progressive teachers' unions over the learning of students, the Wisconsin Republican continued. It is time for Congress to say enough is enough and revoke the NEA's federal charter. Fitzgerald has a hefty track record with labor and union legislation. He was the Wisconsin Senate leader during the Cheese State's right-to-work push. Banks told Fox News Digital that he was happy to partner with his RSC colleague on the legislation and that there is now no daylight between the NEA's agenda and the radical left's agenda. Worst of all, the NEA strongly supports teaching 5-year-old children about adult sexual behavior, Banks continued. Their mission used to be education, now it's indoctrination and pitting American children against their parents' values. Congress represents all Americans, and this bill will end Congress's tacit support for an organization that now only represents narrow, partisan interests, he added. Former Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker, a Republican and another key player in his state's right-to-work push, applauded Fitzgerald for leading the way on the legislation with Banks. The union bosses at the National Education Association stand in the way of ensuring access to an excellent education for every student, Walker said. Representative Scott Fitzgerald stood with me as we fought their efforts to intimidate officials in Wisconsin. Now he is leading the way to ensure that taxpayers are not forced to sanction the NEA's radical agenda with a congressional charter, the former governor added. The NEA first received its federal charter in 1906 via an act of Congress. According to a one-pager exclusively obtained by Fox News Digital, several conservative groups are backing the legislation, including Heritage Action, the International Women's Forum, Young America's Foundation, and the National Right-to-Work Committee. Additionally, several prominent GOP lawmakers have signed onto the bill, including Reps. Rodney Davis of Illinois, Mark Green of Tennessee, and Kat Cammack of Florida. The NEA and other teachers' unions have been under major scrutiny by conservatives amid revelations of the groups having their hands in executive branch policies, with recent revelations showing the NEA spent more on supporting Democratic Party causes than on their own members. According to data compiled by Americans for Fair Treatment, 17.6% of the NEA's spending went to political activities and lobbying, with just 8.6% going to representational activity. Political activities also accounted for more spending than employee benefits, which made up 15.1% of the organization's expenditures. The lawmakers' bill also coincides with Banks and several other RSC members pledging last week to stand against renewing Disney's copyright extensions amid the Mouse House's media maelstrom from opposing the Florida Parental Rights in Education bill. Banks led the letter to Disney CEO Bob Chapek last week, which cites the Mouse House's ties to China and the company's political and sexual agenda as their reason for opposing a copyright extension. Like Disney, the NEA hopped on the Don't Say Gay train, joining other liberal organizations in opposing the bill that was recently signed into law by Florida's Republican Governor Ron DeSantis.
This is the end of our news today. Thanks for watching and have a good day.